agora às 7 horas da noite, o Brasil vai estremecer. Almeida versus Lewis na luta principal da noite. E agora nós vamos abrir os trabalhos na categoria dos leves. Cauê Fernandes estreia contra Mark Diakis, Lightweight Division. Vamos receber Mark Bone Crusher Diakis.
Yeah, I've gotten to know Mark quite very well in the last couple of years. He finished up his camp at the Goat Shed in Miami, where you can find me putting up work. I cornered Mark for a fight in Germany, so I've done a lot of work with him. He's one of the most explosive guys that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. Look at him, just taking this all in for the crowd. You gotta love what Mark does. I love his hairstyle right now. He's got the Brazilian colors in his hair, but they got no love for him right now.
Cauê Fernandes!
To that crowd. He is the first Brazilian to step on the scale. He will be the first Brazilian to walk in this building on Saturday night. He wants to start it out with a bang in his UFC debut here at home in Brazil. He started judo at 5 years old and Muay Thai at 6, and then 9 to 10 years old he went over to Nobu. Now listen to this, guys. He has remained there for 18 years training with some of the best in the world.
5 first-round finishes for Cauê Fernandes. And Casey, very animated here in the stare down.
7 horas da noite no UFC Fight Pass.
We're one stare down in. Mick Maynard has his hands full.
Próxima luta na categoria peso palha, Strawweight Division. Eduarda Moura enfrenta Montserrat Ruiz. Recebam Montserrat Conejo Ruiz.
And here she comes, a standout wrestler. She was on the national team in Mexico. She was a 7-time national champion in Mexico. And I just love those stats when you're like a 7-time anything, because I could never do that. But homegirl's got a neck tattoo, and that always impresses me when anybody can have a neck tattoo, because I got a tattoo a couple weeks ago, and I told the lady, I said, look, you got 30 minutes to get this done, and I'm getting up out this chair. But she's got a neck tattoo, a tremendous head and arm throw, and she's ready to fight.
E agora, sua adversária, Eduarda Honda Moura.
It will be curious if she'll use that headlock, because Moura came in very heavy. You can't come in 3 pounds overweight and expect to look very professional in that way. You have to show up on weight. So that's what happened. She's heavy, and that will help her, because this is a grappling style matchup. Both of these ladies like to grapple. And if you got that extra weight, how much energy did you save not cutting that extra 5 pounds? That's a big deal. And look at the size difference. It's huge. That's a big advantage.
30% of her purse has been docked for missing weight by 3 pounds. She competed on this season of Dana White's Contender Series in Week 2, making her debut here.
Cardio preliminar. Angela Hill enfrenta Denise Gomes. Categoria peso palha, Strawweight Division. Recebam Denise D. Gomes.
Well, Denise D. Gomez said the weight cut went really well for her. She said maybe because I cut my hair. I wanted it to be this color, but I wanted it to be long, and it didn't look good, so I cut it. Don't worry, guys. She's a barber in her spare time. She's just 23 years old, the 13th youngest fighter on the roster. Well-rounded, started Muay Thai at 5 years old, then added jiu-jitsu at 9. This is one of her biggest tests against Angela Hill, and she respects Angela for what she's done, but she's ready to level up and notch her 3rd straight
win.
E
agora, sua adversária, Angela
This will be
Overkill
a big test for her, because Angela Hill is the Cal Ripken of female MMA. She shows up. She loves to fight. I spoke to her about her frequency. She says she loves to fight. She loves the consistency. She loves her job. She loves learning, because that's important to her. She's been on the receiving end. The bad end of the receiving end was
15 and a half.
Decision
52 quilos e 400 gramas
has
para
been her thing, so that she
Overkill.
wouldn't have to fall to a split decision loss again.
23 fights in her UFC career, the most for a female fighter in UFC history. I love the comp to Cal Ripken as a kid who grew up an Orioles fan.
Thank you for that, meio pesados, Light Heavyweight Division. Vitor Petrino enfrenta Modestas Bukauskas. Recebam The Baltic Gladiator, Modestas Bukauskas.
Well, Modestas Bukauskas has been a pro since 2015. He's a former 2-time Cage Warriors light heavyweight champion. His first fight was in the height of COVID, July 2020 at Fight Island. He told us yesterday that this fight was peaking exactly at the right time. His cardio, strength, everything there. Admits he peaked a little early in his previous camps. said he's
de
ready for
Minas
this
Gerais,
one, injury-free.
Vitor Cabuloso Petrino!
Oh yeah, widely loved here in Brazil. Petrino, another Dana White Contender alumni. And the thing about being on the Dana White Contender Series is it gives you so much experience against the biggest lights on the biggest stage, with Dana White putting extra pressure. Once you feel that level of pressure, it's almost easier to go to any other organization and be at ease. So now he's here, he knows what it looks like, he's in his hometown, he's in shape. He has a 3-1 amateur record before he got to 9-0, so he's actually got 13 fights of experience, and he trained with another man on this card, Zaleski Elizu. So he's got a training partner that's on this card that's ready to go, so you know he's gonna be in shape.
Vitor Petrino, one of a number of Contender Series fighters on this card here in Brazil.
Na categoria dos meio-médios, Welterweight Division, Rinat Fakretinov enfrenta Eliseu Zaleski dos Santos. Recebam Eliseu Capoeira!
Oh man, this dude is as legit as they come here in Brazil. He has a highlight reel spinning wheel kick over the current welterweight champion, Sean Strickland. In 13 fights in the UFC, he's only got 3 losses and 2 of those were split decisions.
77 quilos e 600 gramas.
He's a couple of judges' decisions away from really being a top contender. But at 36 years old, he's got to step on the gas and he can't afford to make no mistakes. But he's here in front of his home crowd, and I'm looking forward to it.
He's facing Fakredinov. This guy is on a 20-fight win streak, absolutely dominant in grappling, striking everywhere that he's gone. He hasn't lost in so long. The confidence is through the roof. I saw him cutting weight while I got to get in a run, and this man was running the whole time, hitting pads, looked very, very sharp, didn't look dead, like he didn't lose energy, so he's very ready for this matchup, and this is going to be one of the fights to watch. Don't blink.
Coming in on that 20-fight win streak, you do not see that very often, and he is 3-0 in the UFC as Fakredinov as well.
Vamos agora para a luta que fecha o card preliminar numa disputa em peso casado. Elvis Brenner enfrenta Kainan Kruchevski. Recebam Kainan Bahia Kruchevski.
Kainan Kruchevski called him, said he got the call in the middle of the night on Monday, but he missed the call. It wasn't until Tuesday morning when he got to the gym that he found out he was actually in the UFC. He told me this morning the first thing he did was step on the scale because he was walking around a little heavier than he had. He'd been working on building muscle, bulking up his strength since his time on Dana White's Contender Series. He also told me that he showed everything that he wanted to show during that experience, and it felt really good when Dana said he was ready for the big show. Now he wants to prove the boss right here.
Recebam seu adversário, Elvis Brenner!
Another hometown favorite, as you can hear. Brenner's heroes are Oliveira, who obviously former champion, trained with very much to be prepared for this matchup, and his grandfather as well. He's got awesome grappling transitions, but you can see in his fights, his stand-up is not lacking at all. With 11 submissions to his name, 3 rear naked chokes, 6 arm bars, triangles, and guillotines. I mean, he's well-versed, well-rounded black belt, and that's really where he shines when I watch his fights.
And no more blonde hair for him. He's changed it up a little bit.
The whole team can look. Oliveira knows how to run him.
Same barber, too.
Yeah, right? He got the same barber.
And by the way, for Kruchevski, he fought on season 7, week 7. So it wasn't that long ago, just a few weeks ago that he fought.
And he lives right here in São Paulo. Said his wife will be here to see him make his debut. Good stuff.
Vamos à luta que abre o card principal. Categoria dos médios, Middleweight Division, Rodolfo Vieira enfrenta Armen Petrosian. Recebam Armen Superman Petrosian.
So Petrosian got to fight somebody on this card, and it's Cal. So it's, excuse me, Kaio. And on this card, that's where he's looking to fill the gap, is that grappling. He got a little bit out-grappled there, but he comes from a karate background since 20 years old. Then he added Muay Thai to that background. So he's got a very unconventional style. He uses his range so well in combos, and his movement with his footwork really stifles his opponent. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up.
Oh boy, in terms of pure BJJ accomplishments, Vieira is easily one of the top competitors who's ever touched his foot inside of the octagon, and I've had the pleasure of watching him transition into MMA from when he first jumped over from BJJ. Now I'm not talking back so I can go ahead and tell the story. When Tyron Woodley was training for Damian Maia, I was picking Rodolfo Vieira's brain to help deal with that half guard of Damian Maia. So I have to thank Rodolfo for that, and I hope that the Brazilian fans ain't too mad at him.
And you talk about the BJJ expertise, 8 of his 9 wins by submission for Vieira.
E agora também na categoria dos médios, middleweight division, Caio Borralho enfrenta Abus Magomedov. Recebam Abus Magomedov!
Is there a more intimidating name outside of Dominic Cruz?
Stop.
In the UFC than Magomedov? Well, the UFC thinks so well because they gave this man, they slipped him right into a main event spot against Sean Strickland in just his second UFC fight. And it didn't even realize his name was Magomedov. I didn't realize his name was Magomedov because I thought he'd been here forever. But he put his whole foot in Dustin Stone's whole face. In 19 seconds, knocked him out before that title shot. This guy is the truth, has a tremendous amount of experience internationally. 25-5, ready to come here and spoil the party.
Listen to the crowd for Caio Borralho. He enters this weekend after a second-round rear naked choke over Michał Oleksiejczyk in April to take his win streak to 11. Again, he got his start on Dana White's Contender Series. Also, Season 5, he's 4-0 in the UFC. And this camp lined up perfectly with becoming a father. He had a son, Liam, just 6 weeks ago. He said he was smack dab in the middle of camp. 2 weeks after he was born, he headed out to Las Vegas where he trained at Extreme Couture with that man, Sean Strickland. And I'm sure he got some tips from the champ himself on this matchup.
He's also going to have that new dad strength as well on Saturday night.
Yeah, he was pushing the stroller in the fighter meeting.
I thought that he was going to have a size disadvantage in terms of height, but it looks pretty similar right there.
Love the intensity.
Yeah.
Those two
Yeah.
are
No doubt about it.
Yes, that's what it's about right there.
Heavyweight division, Rodrigo Nascimento enfrenta John Tail Mays. Recebam John Lord Tail Mays.
I loved listening to the confidence this man had in the meetings because he got to train with the former champion John Jones. And I think that also alludes to why he's been picking up his strength and conditioning to 3 times a week. I mean, if you watch, John Jones was trying to get his size up to heavyweight, and he did so. Well, this man was training alongside him. You know, he's got super good transitions with the striking to stuffing the takedowns. But the real thing that interests me is his favorite grappling technique is a triangle.
Which is bizarre.
I want to see this guy go I want to see him go from guard to a triangle. Come on.
If he gets a triangle, he should get all the
He got to be joking, right?
Well, Rodrigo Nascimento says it's just going to be a complete rematch of back in 2020, where he finished things in the second round with a rear naked choke. He plans to go 2-0 against Dante Mays Saturday night. I spoke to Pahumpa, coach at American Top Team, and he told me that Rodrigo took this matchup to fight here at home. He's never fought in front of an open crowd here in Brazil. It's Dana White's Contender Series and the pandemic, so it's his dream to fight in front of these raucous fans, and it's coming through here this weekend.
Well, Heidi, be very careful as you're walking back down to the arena floor through these crazy fans, because I know you have some work to do, some interviews, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
See you in a minute.
Categoria dos meio-médios, welterweight division, Gabriel Bonfim enfrenta Nicolas Dalby. Recebam Nicolas Dennis Dynamite Dalby.
When I look at this man's resume, it says BJJ brown belt, karate green belt. What are you talking about? That does not do this man justice for what he is capable of inside that octagon. I came down here to Brazil 2015 in Goiânia, Brazil. He fought Alexander Dos Santos. I remember watching that fight thinking, man, can this guy fight? He is the future of the division. Since then, he's been on a pretty good run. Now he's back, taking on a tough task. I am so excited for this fight.
Gabriel Marretinha Bonfim.
I mean, if you watch this guy, you know how aggressive he is. Another Dana White Contender Series alumni that's ready for the lights. Started boxing at 14, started MMA at 17, and it's been history ever since. Watch his aggressiveness. Watch how he moves forward. This man is dangerous.
170 and a half. 77 quilos e 300 gramas para Marretinha. Esse é o seu co-main event. categoria dos 77 quilos.
A perfect 15-0 record for Bonfim will certainly be tested against Danish Dynamite.
E agora vamos conhecer os atletas que fazem a luta principal da noite. Take a look.
Here is the budding heavyweight contender, 12th in the world at present. Jailton Almeida came off of Dana White's Contender Series. Dating to that UFC debut, people have been talking about this man's potential greatness.
This is Jailton Almeida's opportunity to make a splash.
Minha última luta foi em Charlotte contra o tenebroso Jairzinho Rodestruck. Né? Todo mundo achava que eu ia ser nocauteado com o Jairzinho. Muita gente falava que eu ia bater na divisão e ia voltar. E hoje a galera me vê de uma forma diferente.
Jailton Almeida has done it again, 14 in a row, and there is no stopping Malhadinho.
Depois dessa luta, minha vida mudou muito. Me vejo de uma forma que eu próximo campeão. Aí geralmente os atletas entram no UFC, fazem uma luta, aí fica só se mantendo ali, né, até chegar no ranking. E as coisas que você não tá pra mim, que era um sonho, né, de poder chegar lá. Hoje o objetivo é esse, é de próximo.
Jailton Almeida is here to stay.
Eu tô pronto pra isso, pronto pra tudo. E a gente vai sair dessa vitória com os braços levantados.
I believe I'm a bad matchup with anyone. The way my attitude goes into the octagon, it's unpredictable.
We are talking about the most prolific knockout artist in UFC's history. When Derek Lewis can get his hands on you, he can put you out.
Derek Lewis opens with a switch knee.
Derek's got him in
the
big
mouth.
trouble. That's
It's over.
it.
All alone at the top again.
I don't know what Almeida's game plan is. I think Almeida's game plan right now is just not to get hit. If I catch him, what's going to happen, I believe that we're going to play Uno. Me and him in the octagon, sit Indian style. What else you think going to happen if I touch him?
Oh! It's over. He got it. The Black Beast lighting up Las Vegas.
The man has more knockouts than any heavyweight in the history of the sport.
I'm a very dangerous guy. I believe I'm getting better range. As long as I move forward, I believe I get the job done.
Essa noite eu vou apresentar uma performance. Vamos chegar preparado para fazer 5 rounds. Se for para 5 rounds de guerra, vai ser 5 rounds de guerra.
There's the tap.
Wow.
He's going to want to take the fight to the ground. He's going to try to get me tired. I believe that he's going to be in for a rude awakening.
Eu pretendo buscar a vitória. Levei Maradinho em cima do octógono, né? Muito focado, muito determinado. Agora, né, a nossa chance de buscar o título, então...
I believe I have the advantage in this fight. I'm going to get it done in the first minute.
Derek, the Black Beast Lewis.
His game plan going to go out the window.
Recebam the Black Beast, Derek Lewis!
Now, if we're talking about Derek Lewis, we're talking about one of the most prolific heavyweight knockout artists in the game. I think Daniel Cormier is probably the best grappler that ever gifted at heavyweight wrestling. And he's facing Almeida, and DC was able to do well with Derek Lewis, as we saw early in that fight. He was able to choke him. So I think this is a fight that we're going to see Derek Lewis meet in the middle, land the big shots, look for the knockout, because if it goes to the grappling, it's a tough fight.
It absolutely could be. But the Brazilian interpreter, Fabiano Busquets, gave me the science on this guy. Said he comes from Salvador. And see, as you see him dancing around, Salvador is a place that has very high Afro-Brazilian cultural roots. And he says this guy is made to be a star. Not only can he fight, but he's got the personality to be a star. Now, for me, I look at him, and I want his body type. I say, look at his body type. I need that body type. I can't have it. I don't even think I have the body type of his grandfather. But listen, this guy is here is a serious contender in the heavyweight division.
Give yourself a break, Dean. You're in shape, man. Come on.
Yeah,
I see your muscles poking out this vest you're wearing.
Sexiest man alive, Dean Thomas.
Derek Lewis, em território hostil, o que podemos esperar do Black Beast amanhã à noite?
We're in a hostile environment. What can we expect from you tomorrow night?
Porrada.
Porrada means fight.
Senhoras e senhores, Derrick Lewis. E aqui ao meu lado, nosso protagonista da noite, Jailton Almeida Malhadinho. Luta principal da noite. Que recado você manda para o mundo, Jailton?
You're the main event tomorrow night. What message are you sending to the division?
Boa noite, São Paulo! Meu Brasil, meu Nordeste. Tô feliz de estar aqui em São Paulo, né? Ele falou que era porrada e tinha que fazer um show. Então, se vocês querem show, você monta um show. Tô pronto, tô preparado.
We're in Brazil, we're in São Paulo. He says he wants a brawl, he says he wants a show, so let's give you guys a show tomorrow night.
Senhoras e senhores, amanhã, 7 horas da noite, começam as emoções do UFC Fight Night. Almeida versus Lewis no UFC Fight Pass, a nova casa do